What's up, guys? Welcome to the Yak Chat, where we talk about all things kayaks, all things fishing, all the time. My name is Jay with Bearded Dad Fishing, and I'm glad you're taking the time to be here with us today. This podcast is streaming live on YouTube and is available on demand on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So if you're listening live, we want to hear your questions, your comments, and of course, your smart remarks. Feel free to be sarcastic. That's what we like around here. Today, we've got a really special treat, man. We got Blake Abbey joining us to talk to us about breaking the barrier of entry in kayak tournaments and how to successfully fish these tournaments as well. Lots of guys get into kayak trails, whether regional, national, or online, and they run into a mental wall that stops them from progressing or, in a lot of cases, even getting started. And that's been true of myself as well in the past. So Blake has been killing it this year in back-to-back derbs, which we'll share in just a little bit. But I'm excited to bring him on and get his perspective on this ever-growing sport. So, of course, we've got Juan of Cap and Hooks and Bryan of the Michigan Fisherman with us as well. So, again, this is an interactive show. So if you guys are watching, please get your questions ready, as well as those dad jokes, because at the end of the show, we're going to be going over all the submitted dad jokes in our Funny or Crummy segment. And before we get the guys on here, just a couple quick housekeeping items. So first things first, if you're not part of the group Kayak Fishing Dads on Facebook, get on there. We got over 25,000 members now, which is insane because it just keeps growing and growing and growing. I think we're getting like 1,000 members a week right now, which is nuts. So it's an awesome place to learn if you're in the beginning stages of kayak fishing, and if it's a great place to share your setup and share advice if you're maybe in the middle stage or you're been doing it for a while, so you can really share with other people. We also have the Knucklehead Bass Fishing Series. So now's the time to get signed up for June. You want to join? Oh, got out of focus there. We want to join Team Bearded Dad for sure. So we have we still got May going on. Clearly, it's not done, but right now it's nuts. Let me bring this up here real quick so you guys could see top three placers right now. We got Mac Toon with 107.5 inches, which is absolute madness. And Rick Peters out of Virginia with also a century bag, got 101.5 inches. And we got Tim Smith, local boy from PA, Tim, coming through with 93.75 inch, which is a very stout bag as well. So right now, that's I don't think you guys want to jump into May, but come in and join us for June. I'm gonna link all the information down below for how you get into the tournament. It's really simple. We get a chance to fish together. If you get into the championship, we'll go down to Alabama to fish October 5th and 6th, and it's only $25 to join the online portion. And essentially, if you win for the month, you get on my championship team, and we'll fish in Alabama in October and go against 11 other teams led by other YouTubers, content creators. So again, in the show notes below, I have all the information on how you can sign up for that. And we also have, last thing here is the next episode is going to be June 9th. So make sure you guys get that on the calendars. We're talking to Jake Stem, who's an Old Town pro staff and tournament angler as well. And we're going to be talking about how you can increase them catches, man, and get better at the art of bass fishing. So Jake's got a ton of knowledge, and that's exactly why I call him Papi Juice, because he got that juice, man. He puts us on. So I'm really excited to talk to that guy. So again, June 9th, make sure you guys get it on the calendar. So let me bring on Juan and, of course, Bryan. What's up, brothers?
Yo, what's up?
What's up, Jay? Glad to be here, man.
Yo, glad to have you guys. I feel like it's been way too long. I know it's only been 4 weeks since we done one of these, so we had to miss Mother's Day because that just would not be proper to go live on Mother's Day talking about kayaks. Yeah. But here we are, man. Yo, Juan, tell me about these last couple of days you've been fishing, dude. I think you've had like 2 days that you've been upwards of 20 fish each day.
Just a really good weekend for like the last 2 days, like Jay said. I don't know how to call it. All I'll say is definitely do your research as far as just getting out there and trying things and sticking to them and staying diligent to them, and it'll pay off, man. All that little stuff pays off, and it's showing up now. I was a guy, I used to go places all the time and skunk like you wouldn't believe. and to catch some of the bigger fish that I'm catching. It just feels good, especially being a PA boy, because our fish don't grow that big, and it takes a long time for them to get pretty big. So, yeah.
Bryan don't know the struggle, man. He got big fish over there.
Yeah, I know.
Yo, you been out on the water, Bryan?
Yeah, I've been out. I usually can only get out maybe once a week. Yet last week I was able to get out twice, so it was nice. I was catching lots of numbers, catching smallmouth. They're on beds right now where I'm at out on Lake St. Clair, and I've been catching numbers, but I'm trying to get those just a little bit bigger fish. Now I'm getting like 18.5 inches, but like you already showed on the the leaderboard, I'm in that bracket as well, and I'm catching like 18.5s. I'm looking for 20s,
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm going to be able to catch. I forgot the guy at the top, 107 inches. That's insane, but maybe I can get in the top 3, and that's kind of my goal right now out on Lake St. Clair.
It's tough, dude. I did not think we would get a 107-inch bag and that was Mac Toon, by the way, for first place. That's
huge, man.
That's big, man.
You feel
See, I'm trying my best. I think I'm like in 7th or something like that. I was in like 5th. I checked 2 days ago, and a couple guys, caught a couple nice 21, 22-inch bass and bumped me down a few spots. So I got one more day. I'll be able to get out maybe on Wednesday to make one last push.
Yeah.
And I admittedly didn't get to join because when I was about to, I had checked the leaderboards and I was like, there's no way. I normally make a trip to South Carolina around this time of year. And if I would have went to South Carolina, I definitely would have done it. I think I had an opportunity to do it out there, but up here in PA, not for. So I fell back. I'm glad I did because that 107.
No, that would keep me from probably coming back. No, because Rick Peters, who was on my team last year, he's in 2nd place, so he has 101.5, I think it was, inches. Even when he got up to like 98 inches, I was like, oh man, Rick might have it in the bag. And out of nowhere, Mac came through and threw those numbers up. So, I mean, you never know. We still got a couple days, and Virginia got some big fish, man. So
yeah. We'll see what happens.
That should be exciting, man. So we got the bearded paddler here too. What's up, Andy? What's up, bro?
Yeah,
and Matt. Speaking about Mac, he said I lucked out on that 24.25 inch, caught on a frog on fluorocarbon.
Really?
Jeez, bro.
Not even going straight braid.
I've yet to catch a frog. I was trying the other day, but I think they were too small, so they couldn't get all of it. And I think I might change the style of frog I'm using. So
we'll see, bro. Yo, but like I said, we're talking to Blake Abbey today, so I don't want to hold this up. But before we get him on, I asked him yesterday. I said, "Yo, what like?" Because I know he won the Hobie BOS at the Harris Chain and Lakes. I was like, "Yo, what else you won?" So I can kind of say it in the introduction.
Yo, real quick, my bad, not to cut you off. So just so y'all,
you cut me off.
Not to do what I did. Yo, just so y'all could get some perspective on this. We started the group and we didn't expect it to take off the way it did, and you guys have been bomb.com. And Blake, unbeknownst to us, was a part of the group, and he had won the Harris Chain, and he had shared some real meaningful pictures to the group. And I shared them with Jay, like, yo, fool, this dude is a part of our situation here. We need to chat it up with him. And so go ahead.
Yeah. No, thanks for the backstory. So yeah, Blake was a part of the group before all this. So it was Juan showed me the picture of him with his girls on the kayak and with his award. Yeah, man. So anyway, so he won at the Hobie BOS. He was the Harris Chain at the Harris Chain and Lakes. He was the champ, first place. He also, anyways, like I was saying, I was like, yo, what else have you done this year? And he sent me a bunch of stuff I didn't even think. Anyway, so Bass Nation St. John's River took first place this year. Bass Nation Lake Toho took second place this year. Hobie BOS at Lake Norman, biggest bass out of more than 1,200 submitted. And the Bajo Summer Slam, he landed a sailfish for first place. And I actually saw like a screenshot of that. That thing is wicked, bro. A sailfish in a kayak. I don't know if I even want to add that to my list of things that I've done.
Also, his win over on the California Delta with a lifetime.
He did say that.
So
Anyways, yeah. So he knows a thing or two about a thing or two, and he's the perfect guy to come on here and talk to us about breaking the barrier of entry for kayak fishing, and also like how to successfully fish these tournaments, because they're not easy. You know what I mean? Like even if you can get past the physical aspect and do well, perform well, mentally it's still very difficult. Because you're fighting against these hammers, and you're also fighting against yourself. You know, it's mind games. So let's bring on Blake, man, and his girls. What's up, man?
Yo.
Hi. Our
Hi,
dad
girls.
won $7,000 so we can go on a Disney cruise. he won first place.
Ooh, so you went on a
Nice.
Disney cruise?
A fishing tournament. He won $7,000.
Yes.
And we can go on the Disney cruise for 3 days.
Oh,
That's awesome.
Nice.
Oh,
I want to go on a Disney cruise for 3 days.
I've never been to Disney yet.
Where are you guys?
That's
We're
right.
all over. We're in Pennsylvania. Bryan's in Michigan.
Hey, bro.
I'm in PA with Jay as well.
You want to say hi, Wave?
Hi.
You guys are being watched all over the world now.
Okay, go talk.
You guess what character I am?
What character you are? What's that?
He's with Peter Pan and he's a fairy.
Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell.
So
I'm a dino girl.
I did join the group because I saw it was like a kayak fishing dads group, and this guy Anthony Paganelli from California, I saw him. I think he was posting stuff, and he was in the group, and he started fishing with his son. So I just was obviously attracted to it because, I think it's cool to have the time spent on the water with the kids, and owning a boat isn't cheap, and boat stuff's cool, but I think the kayak stuff for me, it's a little bit more adventurous. My kids over there playing the drum stuff. All right, thank you guys. Go inside.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, girls.
Bye. Say bye.
Bye.
Come say bye. Say bye, dads. So yeah, I mean, was the group originally started for like because I think one of the first posts I saw was like post a picture, like with your kids or something. Something.
Yeah. So I mean, it was just kind of I was sharing with you a little bit before the show. Like it's guys that like the kayak fish, but also like we find our identity as being dads. I mean, I could only say that really for myself, but like I see that across the board. That like we kayak fish, but like we're dads, bro. So we like to we don't maybe get out as much as we would like to because we're dads and a lot of us are husbands or whatever. But like that's a big part of our lives. Like I love going fishing with my kids. Like, I'm not going out there chasing big fish when I'm with them. I just want to catch all the sunnies we can to keep them entertained.
I think that, and also to keep things a little realistic, we all work, we have a balance, and we might not be able to afford what we want, or we may have to get in tune with other guys who have worked with a process of saving up, or maybe what is that called, a trade up, if you will, resell, or however, just try to learn from each other, and also, for example, I didn't learn this from my dad. I just started this like 4 years ago. Never been into fishing before. So, for guys who are trying to make that transition, like myself, who I'm dad, and so give us a place to call our own, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, and I noticed that a lot of the groups, as well as like most of the major podcasts too, were kind of dedicated to kayak tournament anglers. You know what I mean? Like the guys that maybe go hard, and not everybody fits that demographic. They're just guys that get out on a kayak, and there's a ton of guys that in that group that are lifetime kayaks. They get the ones off of Sam's Club and everything else. So we want to. That's what it's about.
Kayak was a Sun Dolphin from Walmart.
Nice.
And I started on the Delta with this guy Travis Moran, and he was fishing like the bigger tournaments. He actually was like an announcer for the FLW, and he used to do a lot of filming. So I learned a lot about fishing from. I would be fishing on his boat, and he would scuba dive down, 18 feet.
Mm-hmm.
He would film the lure, and we'd see the fish hit it, like some of them wouldn't commit. They would just like nip it, smallmouth. Then, so like it was crazy because having that perspective of seeing how the fish respond to certain baits and like when to set the hook, when not to set the hook. But long story short, I wanted to fish a lot and he couldn't. Like you guys said, this was before I had kids. So I was like, I went and bought a kayak, and I would like, they're so light. The $200 kayaks, dude, you can pick up with one hand.
Oh yeah.
I'd throw it over my shoulder and like walk down the rocks, get on the water. And the thing that I personally like about kayak fishing so much is like, you don't need a boat launch,
Yep.
Yeah.
You could be on the water in 10 minutes, dude. I'll be driving. I call it freestyling when I drive around. And I'm just looking, like if I see water, I'll pull over sometimes and be like, I got 45 minutes. You could jump on a fish, for 30 minutes, get on and off in 10. So I really, 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 I think the first fish I caught in a kayak ever was like a 5-pounder. Obviously, it was lucky, but I sent the dude a picture, Travis, this guy I was fishing with, and he's like, "Where are you?" And I was like, "I'm right where we were the other day." So that was before I knew about how like bad it was to go fish people's spots. But he ended up like telling me, he's like, "Dude, you can't go there. Like, I got a tournament this weekend." I'm like, "Okay, fine."
So you started with the Sun Dolphin. When was this? What year was this?
It was a long time ago. It was like 10 years ago.
Okay.
Maybe more. I got one Sun Dolphin, and then of course I got another one. So I got two. And I always love taking people. A big part of my passion is the shared experience. Whenever I meet people, I'm pretty outgoing. I can meet somebody at like the supermarket and be like, "Hey, do you fish?" I'm like,
Yeah.
Like, "What's up? You fish? Are you cool?" Basically, I'm asking them if they're cool.
Yeah.
Are you holding?
I feel you.
Yeah. So how long did it take you to get into kayak tournaments?
Well, the first tournament I did was on the Delta, and it was like maybe 30 people. But am I still there? What happened?
Yeah. He's just zooming in.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So the first tournament I did was in California. I was in the California Delta. I was nervous. I was really nervous. I had a van and I had the kayak inside the van, so I didn't have a trailer or nothing. This was kind of like before people had electronics and motors. This was a paddle only kayak, so there was that's a lie, because there were people with Hobies, but not a lot of people had them. Like only a couple guys had them. There was probably like 80% with the traditional paddle. So I showed up. I was really nervous. It was like a 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. start, and I showed up without my tackle. And it was like an hour and a half from my house. So I showed up, I left my tackle box, my tackle bag at home. So I showed up with nothing. And there was this guy named Matthew Brandon. His wife actually runs the USA kayak team now. So he's out there. He gave me like a bag of Senkos, watermelon red Senkos, like one bag, maybe two. And somebody else gave me like a rattle trap or something. So anyways, I fished my first tournament with lures this other guy gave me. And at the end of the day, I saw him with like an hour left. And he told me like how much he had, and I told him how much I had. I'm like, "Well, you're beating me," but I was actually in second place. So I was like, "Dude, I'm so grateful that you hooked me up." I'm like, "I'm gonna just go in and see what happens." And I ended up finishing second. He ended up finishing first. So he got good karma for giving me the Senkos, and I just fished like a maniac, because one thing that I really like to do is fish as much as possible, which I mean keep my bait wet. I don't do like a lot of running around in tournaments. I usually try to find out where I'm going to go and fish before the tournament happens. So on the Harris Chain, I went out Wednesday prior to the start, and I fished like a crackhead, just like bang, like, hardcore fishing. And so when I started on the day one of the tournament, I knew exactly where I was going. I knew exactly what stretch I wanted to be on. So I committed to that. I had a plan B, but I never really got to plan B. So, which is also a fault of mine. There's been some tournaments that I haven't done well where I wish I had a plan B,
No.
That picture that you guys used for the screen grab, I caught a 10-pounder and an 8-pounder practicing for that tournament. And in that tournament, I caught like 5 fish that were like 12 inches.
Wow.
So,
no.
And that was frustrating. So I should have done more, scouting, but it's time. Like you guys mentioned earlier, I mean, time is the greatest asset, if you got to fish a tournament on Saturday,
I was just literally I was spending some time with the family, my wife's side, for the holiday. And shout out to Papa Tim, because he crushed a killer little meal there. But we were driving back, and I was talking to him about you what we're going to talk about. One of the things I mentioned is, you know, he said, hey, why don't you try to get into some of that a little bit? And I said, I don't think right now is the right time. You know, my kids are still little, and to your point, you know, you're going to fish something on Saturday. It might be a 2-day, so you might do Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
If it's a 2-day, you need to be able to be out there for 2 days. I just fished 2 days in a row, and my butt is beat. So you have that, and then not only that, you know, that's not including the travel, the money you need to travel, the money you need to stay, and then you want to get there at least by honestly the best time Monday, because you want to maybe fish it between Monday and Wednesday, and then get off and wait till Saturday and see if everything you looked at, and you know, and then I told him the other interesting aspect is depending on the regulations of the tournament, you may only have that week or those few days, that 5-day span up until the tournament, because you may not be committed 30 days or 60 or whatever beforehand. So there's not this ideology where, oh, let me go a couple of weeks beforehand and see what's going on there. You may not be able to do that, right? And then even if you did do that, those fish want to be in that same.
No, it changes day to day. I mean,
so
yeah, everybody's got their own method. I submit to my own process. I think for you guys that I'm talking to right in front of me, or anybody, you know, on the other side of the screen, whether they're watching it live or later, like, submit your own process. You know, like, one thing that I've learned this year is it's very hard for me not to catch fish when I go out pre-fishing. Like, I love checking the size. Like, if I get a bite, I'm like, well, I got to check this one, you know? And then I'll get another bite in the same area. I'm like, yeah, I need to check this one too.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's not smart, especially if you pre-fish on Friday. You know, if you're fishing Friday and you're catching fish, those fish ain't biting on Saturday. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I actually need to execute more discipline and, you know, take the hooks off my top water lures. And dude, it's so punishing. It's so punishing to fish and not set the hook. It's yeah. But
people do that. They bend the hooks during practice.
Well, yeah, that's what the pros do. I mean, you know. And a lot of looking, you know, when you see the guys in the bass boats, they just look all day. And now that, you know, live scope is a major player, there's a lot of people that just cruise the lake scoping and setting waypoints. They'll look for beds. You know, this tournament that's coming up this weekend, the next Hobie event is Kayaking Lake, to the Finger Lake. So there's probably guys up there today, tomorrow, you know, the next day. They're just looking. You know, they might not even touch their rod. And I'm jealous. I wish that I was there. I'm in Florida, man. I got a long way to go, dude.
Yeah. So when are you gonna get up to Kayaking to pre-fish?
Well, unfortunately, I can't. I got to work. So I work construction. You know, I got to work Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So I'm gonna leave early Thursday morning. I'm gonna try to get out Thursday afternoon, right when I fly in. I'm gonna I'm getting a rental. I'm borrowing a kayak. That's the cool thing about the kayak community. You know, I reached out to people and I'm like, hey, this is embarrassing, but you got an extra kayak.
Do about rods and tackle.
So I'm bringing my reels. I'm bringing all my reels. I got everything. My behind me is all this a big mess. I've been working. I'm bringing my reels. I'm bringing my tackle. I might go to like Dick's Sporting Goods or Bass Pro Shop and buy a couple rods and then return them. But I also reached out to a few people and got a couple rods lined up. So I just didn't want to fly with the rods. It's a pain in the butt, you know, 7'7" rods. Like it's extra. It's extra money. It's like, plus they get damaged. Flying with guitars and fishing poles is dangerous, to say the least. But everything is going to work out. You know, like I obviously lay in bed and think about all the logistics, but I'm like a dork. Like I'll make lists and I'll take notes in my phone and I'm like checking boxes, you know, like I'm taking my life jacket, the key things that I need. Like I got my 26-inch catch board in my bag, my carry-on. I got my life jacket. I got my nav lights. I don't have a flag yet. I might buy that. I got like a little triangle net, fold up net that fits in there. So I got like the majority of the stuff, and then I'll just go buy the other stuff. I mean, luckily I was able to get a little bit of a cushion early in January, February, because I think I won around $10,000 in 2 months. So this is kind of like just an opportunity for me to like get eyes on this water. And, you know, the experience of going out of state is cool. Like if you go on vacation, you know, or like, you know, say you guys go to a football game, like say you watch your football team, you go to Vegas and you see it, like you see him play the Raiders, like over there or something, you know, like that trip is tight. Even if they lose, like, I mean, it's still tight, you know, because like, so for me, like if I go up to Kayak and I bomb, like, this ain't gonna happen, but I'm gonna go, you know, like, and have that experience because it's so valuable to like see a lake that you know these trails are going to go to again, like the Big Bass Master Trail or the Hobie Trail is going to go there again, and then I can, you know, I'll have 3-4 days on the water where I can be like, oh, like I learned what I went to Norman this year and Lake Murray. I've never fished those lakes, but I learned so much in 3 days, and then coming home 2 weeks after, I learned a lot up here, thinking about like, man, why did I do that? Or like, what did this guy do? You know, like I obviously find out who wins because they do podcasts, you know, and I'm like, you know, some of these guys are like, I'm throwing a 13-inch wake bait the whole time. I'm like, I don't even own a 13-inch wake bait. You know what I'm saying? So like, that makes me feel better because I'm like, I had no shot at winning that tournament because I don't even own that. Dude, you're never going to, if I throw a 13-inch wake bait for 8 hours, like I need to get checked.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
Well, you're not gonna regret going up to Cayuga, man. It's first of all, it's a beautiful lake, but they got there's monster smallmouth in there and largemouth. But I think the state record smallie comes out of there. They got it a couple years ago, 8.5 pounds.
Wow.
So, yeah, they got some big ones, man.
So, Bryan, you were talking about being in a tournament right now.
Yeah, I'm just fishing the one that Jay is a part of, the Knucklehead series through Fishing Chaos.
Okay.
It's kind of
unique.
Is it
a monthly?
Yeah, it's a monthly.
It's a monthly in the winner of each monthly for each team. It's each month is like a qualifier, and whoever wins that month has a chance to join Jay's team, and then his team is going to end up fishing other teams from across the country. Down in what was it, Alabama, Jay?
Yeah, we're going to fish Gunnersville and Wheeler.
You can fish anywhere you want as long as it's public water, and that's pretty much it. So literally every fish that you catch in one of your tournaments that you're fishing could be submitted to this tournament as well, and it's only $25.
Yeah.
Cool.
This month there's a guy in the lead with what, 107?
Yeah, 107.5. That's it.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you earlier, I wasn't in the chat, but I was listening to you in micromanaging my children. But the Fishing Chaos app has that Bajío's sunglass brand. You know what Bajío's are?
Mm-hmm.
The Summer Sprint is in the Fishing Chaos app. Luckily, the next week, week 9, is smallmouth bass.
Oh, okay.
So you should enter that. All you do is write Bajío on the identifier, and there's like a secondary prize. The sailfish prize, I got a $250 Afterco gift card, and I got a pair of Bajíos. The Bajíos are like $260. They're legit.
Gotcha.
So that's a free tournament to enter. So if anybody's watching this and they just want a freebie for smallmouth bass, you guys up north, I mean, right now is the time, right? I mean, they're spawning.
Yeah, they're spawning. So you said that's a free one if I do that for the smallies?
Yeah, I'll post the link, or just look up Bajío. Jay saw the sale.
Yeah.
So Bajío on the Fishing Chaos, I put Bajío Summer Sprint. You can rewind this video. Bajío, BAJIO.
Okay.
Bajío Summer Sprint. Next week is the smallmouth, and they haven't had like a lot of participation, so you might have like a 1 in 10, 1 in 15 shot at winning.
For sure.
If you get 100 inches,
especially where I'm at Lake St. Clair, I actually probably have a pretty good chance. You know, I got some really big smallies up here. So
I'm going out on a limb. I'm going to say I know for a fact you're going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Bryan puts up some inches, man.
Bryan, Bryan, you're going to win this, and you're going to call me and thank me for.
Oh, I will.
I ain't gonna hold you, yo. Bryan is like the sleeper fisherman.
No, we can't tell Lucas about this because Lucas has live scope and
Lucas,
I don't. So
don't watch this. Yeah. Block Lucas from the live.
Watch him comment in a few minutes.
No, Lucas, he's not here to defend himself, so we could talk all the smack we want, man.
No, when you repost this or whatever, you can post up the Bajío thing because they really need more participation. They had the largemouth bass one. You could go through the largemouth bass one was the first one. They have tarpon and redfish coming up. I'm going to do the redfish one and the tarpon one. I don't know if you guys get those up there. I don't think you do.
No, we don't have any up here.
Tarpon are tight.
Dude, I've never landed one. They look like it's a nasty fight.
Dude, tarpons, once you catch a tarpon on a kayak, you're like, why am I fishing for bass again? But the bass fishing is where the money is. These tournaments are insane. Like, because when I say the barrier to entry, like, I mean, you can buy a kayak bare bones and fish a tournament that weekend. You can buy a kayak on Wednesday and fish a tournament that Saturday. And some of them are like $60, $50, and you get 100 people to pay $50. That's money. And there's no overhead. Dude, boat overhead. Boat is an acronym for bust out another 1,000. Because you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to get it registered, you got to trailer it, Everybody that knows
got to winterize it. Where I'm at, you got to winterize it over the winter.
Right.
All kinds of stuff.
Yeah, the winterizing of a kayak means park it in your garage.
Right.
Yeah, and
I'm going to winterize my kayak.
That's the good thing about kayak fishing. I mean, it could get really expensive and it could get really big, right? But it's as simple as you want it to be. You said you were slinging your sundoffin over your shoulder and just walking down the shore. I mean, you could do that easy.
Yeah.
I almost want to have a regression of, because, dude, since this year in particular, like, I got a kayak. I got the Old Town EPDL.
That's right.
It's electronic. It's an amazing kayak. I love the kayak. I call it the Cadillac because it is the Cadillac of kayaks. However, you got to take more stuff. You got to charge the battery. You got to take the battery. You got to load the battery. The pedal drive's heavier. Like, I'm not complaining about this thing whatsoever, but it's like more stuff. And I got like a black pack box. So I used to only roll with 3 rods. I rolled with 3 rods for 10 years. Now I have 6 or 7 rods. And I'll be like casting and I'll get stuck up in a rod. And then that's like 10 minutes of like BS, getting my lure out of the rod that I just fucking almost broke. Sorry. That I almost just broke, and once you get out of rhythm, you get frustrated. And when you get frustrated and out of rhythm, I'm talking about myself. I'm not talking about you guys. I don't fish well.
Mm-hmm. I don't.
And I also, I'm like, I'm ready to go. I'm like, what else can I be doing besides breaking my shit?
Yeah. So that's actually one of the questions I had for you is like, how do you stay in that positive mindset? Because I totally, and I know Juan said he can too, but I totally can see getting into that negative space and immediately being like, man, I just want to go home. Like, how do you break that, especially when it's not going your way?
Well, in a tournament, especially these Hobie tournaments, it's $300 entry fee, so you have to fish the whole time. I know people who fish the first day and don't do well and go home. I'm not going to say nothing negative about that or bad about that. Actually, yes, I am. But, dude, like, if I'm paying $300 and if I go up to Kayaking and catch 0 fish day 1, I'm still going to grind on day 2. Like, I'm going there to learn and experience and fish hard and even have an opportunity at big bass. It's like if you catch the biggest fish on day 2, you're still going to catch check.
Yeah.
Even if you catch 0 fish, you goose egg on day 1. You still got a shot. And, there are these, people that go for Angler of the Year. That's another thing. All these tournaments you get points in, which are cumulative for the end of the year. So I try to to answer your question. Sorry about the rant. I try to stay in a positive headspace by like pausing. If you miss a fish or you break off, like it can be frustrating. At Kissimmee Chain, I lost a big one early in the morning, and I like talked to myself, and I'm like, Blake, chill out. You're gonna get more bites. I'll look at my watch and be like, you got 6 hours. You only need 1 bite an hour. If I got 5 hours, that means I need 1 bite an hour. So and sometimes you can get 5 bites in 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like if you pull up on the right tree or the right laydown or the right area, it's I've caught dude in the Harris Chain. I caught like a 20 and a 22 back-to-back flips, and it was just like nutty. I was like, so the right time, the right place, but I don't always stay in a positive headspace when I'm out there fun fishing. Like, I had a Van Staal reel. I don't know if you guys know what Van Staals are. They cost $525 just for the reel. I had one fall off my kayak. I went under this bridge and it got caught on this rope that was hanging down, and it pulled it up, and my kayak kept going and it fell in, and like, I mean, that's like a week ruiner for me. I'm like, I'm not poor, but I'm like barely above. Like, dude, $500 reel for me is a lot of money.
Heck yeah.
I think that's for anybody.
Yeah, but I think everybody has days. If you don't have a day that sucks, you know, you don't appreciate the really good days, you know? I know it's a cliche to say, but
No, you're right. I mean, it can't be sunshine every day. Otherwise you take it for granted.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake who's coming next week, by the way, he says time to get ready for Cayuga.
oh, I see that.
So he's gonna be on the show for the next one in 2 weeks, but he's gonna be fishing Cayuga. He's pro.
Is that the guy that we don't need to tell about the Bahio Summer Sprint?
No, that's Lucas.
Okay, so Jake, is that Jake?
Yeah, this is Jake right here. Yeah.
What up, dog?
He wants the juice. So he's not on. He's watching though.
Oh, do I want the juice?
Yeah.
No, I need to borrow a rod. And you got an extra kayak, and no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but you said earlier though, people are lending you this stuff. The kayak community is dope like that, man. Like they do that pretty often. I've heard like many times of people pedal drives are busting, so they lend them a kayak, lend them a drive, whatever it is, man. They come through.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, it'll be reciprocated too. Like I talk way too much. I'm pretty open with information. I'm pretty open with what I'm using. Everybody, when I won the Big Bass at Norman, the tournament director was like, "What we're using?" I'm like, "Everybody here knows." I'm like, I'm such a one-trick pony. Like,
no.
I don't do anything. Like, I use the same lures that my grandpa was using, dude. I throw rattle traps. You know what I'm saying? Throw like black worms. Like,
it's funny.
Even when I snook fish, like I use the stuff that like people were using in 40s.
That's funny because I don't know what it is, and you wouldn't believe this time of year the water is mid-70s, and I caught all these on jerk baits, mostly jerk bait. And aside from like a handful on a modified Cinco.
Is it post spawn where you're at? Are they off? Are they like after post spawning right now?
No, we're actually in the middle of our bass spawn right now. It's over in a week, about June 8th. It'll be over. It's the last day. So bass season here opens up June 8th.
You can't even catch bass right now?
You can, but they have to be immediately released.
Yeah, they can't. They have the tournaments up here.
Huh? You mean to eat them, to harvest them, you mean?
Yeah, you can't harvest any right now. And right here in the state of PA, you can't be caught pitching at a bedded bass.
Oh, you're not allowed to bed fish. I got it. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any opinion on that or not. You know, like, I go back and forth with that, especially snook season here is so weird. And the legal limit of a snook where I live, I know we're on a bass talking show, but like it has to be between 28 inches and 32 inches. And those are the breeders. So like the ones that they let you keep are the breeders. I don't actually understand.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Some of the laws are wacky. I'm sure that they're different for every state. I know there's a huge, massive issue in Florida. I don't know if anybody's watched Florida, but like the spraying here, the chemicals warfare that fishermen are having on these lakes, like they're spraying these lakes like Lake Okeechobee, these massive lakes, and just killing everything. So
they're spraying the grass?
Yeah, everything. The pads, the bullywhips, the reeds, like anything that's green and growing. And they're doing it so that it'll be safe navigation for the water and all this stuff. But there's a lot of guys that just, at the boat launches will just like talk about politics and who they're voting for and like the war on weeds. And I'm like, all right, I got to go. I'm like, I got to go fish, dog. Later.
No, they spray up here too, man. And people feel every which way about it. The one lake up here, Nakamix, and they spray, but it's because there's a lot of sailboats up there.
Okay.
And the sailboat people got sailboat money. So
yeah. Ironic. Do it for them. No, dude, everything in the world is about money.
Yeah.
Like let's just call a spade a spade. Like It's all money. Like, there's documentaries on, you know, the sugar cane industry and the sugar industry, and that's why the whole water. I'm not an expert on it, so I don't want to speak. I don't want to speak on something I don't know too much about. It's all about money.
I'm glad to know I'm not the only one. Every time I'm launching a boat, if somebody's there that doesn't have a boat, they will just talk and talk and talk, and I'm over there trying to load my gear.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to this guy for 10 or 15 minutes, and it's prime time, you know, like as the sun's rising.
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta go, man. Top water's, you know, kicking off right now, and you know, it seems like anyone you just say you end up finding some of the strangest people. It's like the water brings some of the strangest people to the boat launch.
No, not water, just boat launches.
The boat launches, is that what it is?
we call them pelicans. I call them pelicans.
Oh my gosh.
It's funny you had said that about the money situation, because ironically, I was watching a little bit of something about, you know, the Bass Masters and how they started in professional bass fishing. And when they first got started, they didn't know how to tax it. They were kind of taxed kind of like a casino.
Hell yeah.
Because they thought of it as like a luck of the draw kind of situation. It wasn't until you know, guys started really putting up some numbers and really
cashing $100,000 checks.
Yeah, they were like, wait, hold up, we got to change the dynamic on this, because up until that point they thought it was, for the most part, luck of the draw. You know, they didn't understand you know, the professional aspect of it until it really came into play. So yeah,
I think we should get back to that, because when I won that Hobie thing, man, when it hit my PayPal, it was like 6,700. I'm like, there's 300 missing here. It was like the PayPal fee. I'm like, so PayPal already freaking dipped in on 300. I'm like, that money. I was like, I'd rather go find a stranger to give that money to.
Yo, for real.
PayPal took 300 just to give me the money from them. I'm like, I don't like it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I'm still happy. I'm not complaining. But
now you were talking about that EPDL you just picked up. What were you fishing on when you were winning the one you fish on the most when you're winning the tournament?
The salty. It's a 120. It's a PDL.
Okay.
It's light. The thing that I like about it is it's lighter than the top water. So I have a top water. You know, I am on the Old Town pro staff now, mostly because I was winning the tournaments. I think because I was making videos and tagging them like for years, you know, trying to get like noticed. I don't even know. I just do that for fun, honestly. But when I won the tournaments, I went on that show, a podcast, the Kayak Bass Nation, and they were asking me, they're like, so you didn't have no electronics, you didn't have nothing. I'm like, no, dude. I mean, in Florida, like the area that I was fishing, I don't even know if electronics would even help, because it's such dense, you know.
That's vegetation.
Dense vegetation, yes.
Yeah.
I don't have a depth finder. I went up to Lake Norman and people were like, what? Some dude texted me. He's like, what's the water temperature up there? I'm like, I have no idea.
Just dip your finger in there.
I was like, I don't know. I didn't have, and I'm not against any of that stuff. I just, I'm like, and if it's not broken, don't fix it mode right now.
Yeah.
I'm in like the less is more mode. And honestly, like I love fishing. Like it's my passion. It fills my cup, you know, like my wife does music. I was in a band for like 20 years, and like I just played a concert the other day, and I'm like, I love it, but it doesn't like fill my cup. You know, I hang doors as my job. I work construction. That does not fill my cup. When I'm on my kayak fishing, that fills my cup like 100%. Bad days are good days. I love talking about fishing. I'll be laying in bed next to my naked wife on Google Earth, zooming in on lakes. Like for real. For real. She's like, what up? I'm like, hold on a second.
Be like, babe, what do you think about this lake right here?
No, I do. I'll text her. I'll screenshot. I'll be like, just put a yellow mark on this lake and tell me where you think. Just because I'm just like that. I don't.
Yeah.
It's funny you said that, because I don't know this guy's name, but he's like a squirrely dude. He's an old dude, and he says like he has a really funny sense of humor. Anyway, he goes about saying something along these lines. He says, sometimes you work really hard to get somewhere just to realize that when you get there, it's not where you really wanted to be, but you really wouldn't have figured it out unless you got there in the first place. So if you got there and you found out that, this is not what I want, it's okay. You can switch, you can alternate now. But if you didn't know, you can't, and so I thought that was an interesting perspective on things. And, I used to do music beforehand, and it's ironic that you said, about the fulfillment aspect of things, because that's what bass does for me now too. Like you said, I used to I had big ambitions musically, and it's just, I don't know how, but it just don't compare anymore. So yeah.
Well, that's cool, man. I mean, so we should quit fishing. Me and you'll link up. We'll start a group. We'll start our own podcast, and we'll be like former kayakers back into music. Our calling came back on the podcast. You feel me?
I got you.
I'll send you some lyrics tonight.
We'll do that.
Bass and bass.
You know what? It's funny.
There you go.
We'll have to throw Jay in the background too, because that's actually how me and Jay met.
Through music.
I used to way back in the day.
So
Jay Stats was his rap.
Dude, you need an intro. You need an intro song, and I feel like us three should write it.
You're just gonna write an intro song?
Yeah, dude.
That'd be fire, bro.
You need an intro. Like it was a little dry. You're like, hey, what's up? I'm Jay. We need a slamming beat. It fell flat in the beginning.
That's funny.
I bet we'll have to work on that.
Yeah.
I don't want no dry intro.
Dude, don't listen. I'm razzing you, dog. You said I'm not serious.
No, but we're gonna do one now.
Yeah.
This will be like the proving grounds for the group.
Yeah, or you could just get on Fiverr or Fiverr and hire somebody to make one. Dude, I feel like with the name of the show, like the bearded dad fishing, like I feel like you could make like a really fire intro. Yeah.
You probably could. Someone asked, by the way, one of the first comments here. Mac Toon wants to know, Blake and Bryan, where are your beards? Because it's just me and Juan right now.
I got a little stubble here.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
I've been working on that for about a week and a half.
That is a good question, Matt. This ain't happening, dog. I think I'm like, this is probably like a lame excuse, but I think I've been told I'm like 12% Cherokee in Swiss, so like I'm like my genes don't have the hair. Like it's just not happening.
I'm like 50% French, 50% Polish. It's not happening, guys. Anybody who's looking for that on my channel, it's not going to be a part of my channel.
But I feel like Jay has enough beard for all of us. Yeah, like you have a very strong beard.
I could glue it to my face like on Beavis and Butthead back in the day. Except they were going to cut off some other hair. But,
like one little stubble.
Just glue it to
a
my face.
guy at church today complimented my beard, and that's like for bearded guys. That's always like, what's up, bro? Like I appreciate that. Mad love.
Yeah. Well, like watch my podcast tonight, bro.
We'll have to like get those like strap-on beards and start sending them in advance.
Yes,
dude.
Yes, for anybody on the show, they have to have like an Amish strap-on beard.
Oh Lord, no mustache, just
the beard. Abe Lincoln.
Yes, exactly. Right. Exactly. Otherwise, you can't be on, even if you have a female.
I wonder how that happened. If the guy at the barber shop, he started shaving the mustache, and he goes to the beard, he's like, "Whoa, I don't have enough for that. Just let's stop here." That's crazy.
I don't know.
All right, let's get to some of the questions, man. So Anthony Laterno asked, he said, Blake, what's your normal pre-fishing routine for a tournament?
I love Wednesdays. Like if a tournament's Saturday, I like fishing Wednesday. I liked my if I could give any advice, start fishing on your pre-fishing day, the time that the tournament starts.
Okay.
So if you're fishing for a tournament that starts at 7 a.m. lines in, don't go fish at 9. Mm-hmm. Or don't go fish that evening. There's like an evening bite. Don't go pre-fish for a tournament in the evening. And this is just my advice. Other people could say otherwise. They could say if you go out, just find fish, whatever. But I like to fish during the tournament hours because, like at noon, I don't really like fun fishing at noon, but during a tournament, in Florida, dude, noon right now means death. Like, there's memes out there that, the little sun in Mario that tries to kill you, it swoops on you. That's Florida right now. So, but when I'm pre-fishing for a tournament in Florida, I like to fish the hours of the tournament. I also, my routine would be to fish Wednesday. I don't like fishing Fridays. I don't like fishing the day before. If I had my ideal scenario, it would be like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then maybe Thursday. Like, if I find my fish on Wednesday, I'll go to the other side of the lake or somewhere different. Like, the chain of lakes was the one that, the first one of the year. That's like so many different lakes. So if I find a lake that I'm on a hot bite, I'll go to another lake. Just, the guy that came in second on the Harris Chain, he moved from one lake to another lake halfway through the day. So he went to like Lake Dora, which is in the chain, and wasn't on fish, and then came over to Lake Apopka, I think, at like 10 or 11 o'clock.
Wow.
And there was a guy that that I know from Florida that on Lake Norman, he went from one side of the lake, which was far as hell, like 45 minutes, all the way around the Lake Norman to the other side of the lake. So I think during pre-fishing, having that plan, like, okay, if I go here in the morning and I'm fishing points and that bite shuts off and there's grass on the other side of the lake, rather than kayak for an hour across, you load up your gear and drive to the secondary location.
What do you do about the dynamic of large lakes? Like, we have some lakes here that are relatively large, but they're not like some of these other lakes where it could take you an hour or two in a bass boat, right?
Well, that's why you pre-fish. I mean, to find an area that you're going to commit to, like, find an area that you feel strongly about, like the highest population of fish. They say that 100% of the fish live in 10% of the water. You guys have heard that?
How do you go about sorting that out beforehand when you're like, or are you using a depth? I
don't have any electronics. I just go out and fish like really hard. I fish as hard as I possibly can. I don't know if people call it power fishing. I just fish very hard. I just cast. I don't even eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have like a bag of nuts, and I'm just like I fish like insanely.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like chill. I'm not like, oh, look, there's a bird. Like,
do you ever find yourself, because as of lately, I started out as a finesse fisher, and now I find myself being more of a power fisher, kind of doing the same thing you're talking about. And so, do you find yourself just consistently? Do you ever finesse fish at all?
Dude, I try to do what the fish want me to do. I don't put rules on them. Like, if I can't figure it out, if I'm not catching fish, I'm not even ashamed of this. I'll ask people. I'll be like, what? I'm like, dude, I can't I couldn't pay for a bite today. Like, what's going on? And some people will be like, won't talk, and some people will be like, oh, try this. And I'm like, okay. Because, dude, if I'm not catching fish, I'll try anything. I'll throw a freaking hot dog in the water. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am not picky at all. Like, but it's also like not that complicated. Like, big fish, bass eat little fish. You know what I'm saying? Like, big fish eat little fish. Like, all across every body of water I fish in. If I'm fishing for a sailfish, they're eating little bait fish. If I'm fishing for a bass, they're eating little bait fish. If I'm fishing for a striper, they're eating little bait smallmouth. What are they eating? Like crustaceans or like I don't know. What do you target smallies with? Like crawdads?
Like, up at Lake St. Clair, I usually, if all you did was throw a tube all day to imitate a goby, you'd be fine. You could catch them all day with a tube. And that's something you're talking about, fishing with something your grandfathers have used.
Right.
My stepfather, my grandfathers, they throw tubes. They still work because it imitates a goby. That's, like you said, they're eating little fish.
Right. Yeah, match the hatch. So like, if you cast 1,000 times and you're casting what they're eating, and you don't get a bite, you're in the wrong area. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's time to move.
I say that a lot. It's like, it's more about probability. Like, how'd you catch so many fish today? I wouldn't stop casting. I would not stop casting. If you cast it 1,000 times, you're bound to catch at least 10 fish.
if you don't get bit by a bass, you're gonna get bit by something.
Yeah.
Like a bluegill or a catfish or a crappie or something. I mean, like, unless you're in dead water. But these tournaments are selected. The tournaments on these trails are hand selected. Like, they're great fisheries. Like, the Hobie's putting you on amazing fisheries. They're not like going to visit these lakes that don't hold fish. You know what I'm saying? Like, same thing with Bassmaster. Dude, they want their anglers to catch fish. They want thousands of fish submitted. Lake Norman, 1,200 fish submitted. I mean, like, in 2 days, like 1,271 fish. Because I called AJ. I think on the way there, I talked to him at the awards. I said, how many fish were there submitted? He's like 1,271. I'm like, holy cow.
That's wild.
Which is nutty, dude. Like, and it was like, I think there was like less than 100 people or just around 100 people. So 100 people in 2 days submitted 1,271 fish. Like that's
average of 12 and a half, 13 fish, bro.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
So that'll lead perfectly into one of the next questions we got here from Jonathan. He says, what's your go-to fishing sucks and you got a grind bait?
I'm gonna go with top 3. A rattle trap, because it mimics a small bait. Smallmouth will eat a rattle trap. If they're eating bait, like shad, herring, bluegill, shiners, anything, and the rattles, it just gets their attention. Or a Senko.
Do you like Texas rig or wacky rig?
I love Texas rig.
Me too.
I Texas rig all day. I like it weedless. Earlier I said I like to fish hard, but here's the truth. If I cast out a Senko and I text my wife, that's okay. Like, I fish that, you know what I'm saying? Like, by the time my Senko is doing this, in 10 feet of water, I can text like 2 people and I'm like, there's one on. A Senko, a rattle trap. I love topwater. I throw topwater in the summer. There's this girl that fishes the Hobie Trail. She's really popular on the internet. Christine Fisher. Mm-hmm. I'm always watching her videos. She's like, throwing frogs like year round. Like, I totally love that, because like when you commit, like if I'm out fun fishing, I'll throw a topwater for 8 hours just to get one bite.
Mm-hmm.
Morning, evening, a topwater, and then a soft plastic worm. I'm not much on the wake bait. Like, I suck at drop shotting. I need to get better at drop shotting. I went out on my paddleboard today, and I went out with one rod today and did a lot of drop shotting. There's a lake around me that's similar to Cayuga. It's like crystal clear. You could see like 12 feet down, and it's got a lot of grass. So I looked at Cayuga, and I went to a lake in Florida that is like Cayuga. I drop shotted all day. I caught like 15 bass, but they were dings. But I'm trying to be a better fisherman and well-rounded. I tell people that all the time. Like, these people that are throwing like those Nessies and like those big like sexy shad. You guys know what I'm talking about? The Berkeley sexy shad things with the big treble hooks, like or the mag drafts. Like,
mag draft.
I just can't. I haven't had a successful day with them yet, so it's hard for me to commit to them. Like, if I go to Cayuga and I throw one for an hour and I don't get bit, like, I'm never. It's getting tucked away.
Mm-hmm.
I tried throwing them at Norman and I didn't do well, but I talked to other people that are like, dude, I won on that thing. Or like, I came in, 4th place and I threw this like shit. I'm like, damn. I'm like, I chugged that thing by like 20 docks. Couldn't get anything to bite it. Like, dude, they were like fighting over it. So, some people, I do what I'm good at, what I have confidence in. I think anybody who wins tournaments will tell you that. Like, anybody who wins tournaments, you're like, what did you do? Like, I use what I catch fish on, what I'm confident with. I mean, dude, I don't throw a tube ever. And I think that's fascinating that you said you could throw a tube all day and catch smallies because it mimics a goby. I mean,
for the longest time I couldn't catch them on them, and like you said, I think it's a big confidence thing. And once I started just having a couple good days with a tube, then I'm like, okay, this actually works. And then once you're confident in it, once you know how to actually fish it, you got to fish it maybe a little bit slower.
Yeah.
Then you'll do well. Like,
tell me how
I
to
usually
fish a tube, because I don't fish tubes. Like, does it fall like in a like tornado motion, or does it just fall straight down?
I think they have different styles of the jig heads, but I think normally it just falls straight down. I think.
And then when it sits there, does the like the tentacles like stand up?
Yeah, they stand up a little bit, but mainly with the tube, when I cast a tube out there, gobies don't move around a whole lot. I mean, they'll dart around, but I've seen them on underwater cameras and they'll just sit there. Sometimes I've seen them while ice fishing, and they just sit there. So when I cast, I will never reel it in right away. I will let it sit there for maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds, which is agonizing.
Yes.
But then I'll reel it and stop it. So I don't always like to throw tubes right away. Sometimes I like to fish something a little quicker, like you said, a rattle trap, something more power fishing. Yeah, like a search bait. And then once I get bit, then you can maybe go to a slower presentation and then really, dial in on them and pick them apart.
Me and you were like that. That's exactly what I do too.
Because I think you can get bit a lot with smaller fish on almost anything. You can, if you say you were to throw any kind of crankbait behind you and you were just a troll in your kayak, you're going to catch something. It might not be a giant, but you're going to catch something. Then once I catch something in an area, that's maybe I'll stop, because I don't have, the only electronics I have is a Garmin Striker 4. That's the only thing I have. I only have it for the depth. And so once I get bit somewhere, then with a power fishing type of bait, that's when I zone in. I throw a drop shot or a Texas rig or a tube, something, or a crawl, something slow.
Yeah. I do the same thing you do. That's why I'm 100% confident that you're going to win the smallmouth Bahio Summer Sprint.
I hope you're right, man.
Like
he's signing up tonight.
Did you say that's a week long? Is that what you said?
It's a week long. You don't have to sign up. It just starts next Tuesday. Like, it's not even active right now.
Okay.
Like, I'll find you on Facebook, or do you use Facebook mostly or Instagram?
I use Facebook. I have Instagram. I rarely go on Instagram, or honestly, Facebook I hardly go on either. I'm mainly on YouTube. But
what did Mac Toon said? Tubes rotate on the fall, and if you put the actual, you probably read better than me. I graduate.
Tubes rotate on fall, and if you put the actual eye tie further back, it makes a smaller circle fall. If you put the eye closer to the tip, it makes a wider circle when falling.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that.
So Mac Toon
Graham says that too. He says tube on a jig head will fall like a tornado. You can also pop it, and the tentacles look like a fishtail.
Yeah. See, I don't even know why I'm on the show. I feel like I need to go hide now.
I mean, I'm successful with the tube, and I didn't even know how it falls. Yeah. I just know how to fish it once it's on the bottom, because I don't know.
No, I mean, honestly, like it's weird because like I said, I own one bag of tubes somewhere. I don't know where it is, and I own like one or two wake baits, and I'm so now that I'm getting into the tournament fishing more, and like now that I have to come up to these lakes where you guys live, like I've never fished in New York ever.
Yeah.
So I got to figure out how to do stuff quick, man. And, I'm a Florida, California fisherman. I lived in Texas. I've lived in Texas. I've lived in Florida, and I fished California Delta like a freaking crackhead. So I love the Delta. The Delta is insane. If you guys ever get an opportunity to come to Florida, call me.
Try. Do you have any jerk baits?
Yeah, I throw jerk baits.
I would say try a few. I think you'll be north enough, and the water might be.
Yeah.
And it's a good power fishing technique for you. I think you can cover a lot of water.
I'll definitely throw them. I mean, I think there's a lot of grass, so.
Oh, okay. I mean, okay, I got you.
Have you been to Cayuga?
No.
It looks grassy. But I mean,
Jay has. Jay's been a few times.
I have been. I haven't caught any big smallies out of there. It's mostly been largemouth, and it's been like that, like in the bridge I was telling you about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I told you, two dudes will park up on that bridge there in the north end, and there's 3 sections of the bridge you can fish, and you can fish on either side of it, and guys would just park up there. When I went up there, I spent my time going between one and the other, and that's where I caught all my fish. I don't know why I wasted my time anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was looking at that bridge on Google Earth and stuff. So
yeah, and there's a lot of cattails behind that too, like a ton of grass right on the other side of the bridge that people fish.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. There's some really good fishermen in this tournament. So I have zero expectations, but to circle back around to the whole tournament thing and talking about it, like there's a lot of really good fishermen in this tournament. Like really good people that know what they're doing, that have fished the lake before, There's one of the guys that I asked to borrow the rods from. His name Ewan Miner.
Okay, he's a
he
hammer.
came in second last year, and like he knows the lake, and like I'm not as much intimidated as I am excited to like be on that level. Like if you want to be the best, you have to beat the best. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to be Jordan, if you want to be Pippen, if you want to be on the dream team, like you have to operate on that level. So, you know, I don't want to go fish these like local derbies with 10 dudes and be like, I'm him. I just won my local derby. It's like, dude, there was 10 people. And, you know, I mean, not that I'm discrediting that motion.
Yeah.
I'm for that. But there's a tournament in Florida this weekend, and there's like 6 or 7 people signed up. And I was looking at it. I was like, dude, I should do that. It's on the Harris Chain. I'm like, I can win. I could probably post a picture of me on Instagram with like a big check. And like, but then I'm like, nah. I'm like, I'm gonna drive to New York. and then I'm like, nah, I'm not driving to New York. I'm like, I'll fly.
I hear that.
So,
Yeah, that's a long drive. So
it's like 16 and a half hours from me. So it was a last minute decision. I was talking to this guy, Bryan. He's a saltwater guide down south, and there's a sailfish tournament down there. So there's like all this action in Florida. But I'm trying to get better, man. You know, like I don't view myself as like a pro fisherman. I view myself as just a kid that's, you know, like a young guy that's a dad first and foremost, like we said, you know, like that's just having fun, you know, and like, dude, winning is cool. I'm not going to lie. Like I want to go out there and do well. I mean, a top 10 would be great. But, you know, like when we die, I don't think people are like, dude, that guy won a kayak tournament, you know, like I'm going to be like, oh, that dude was a great father. You know, when I was broke down on the side of the road, that dude stopped and helped me. You know, like those are the things that I hope that this group, as it, you know, tends to grow, it's like who are we really? You know, like live by principles of life. Like, and I think that's why the community's like, oh, I'll loan you my kayak, or like I'll loan you some rods. You know, like there ain't nobody loaning somebody their boat in a bass tournament. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's 100%, bro. The whole like leaving a legacy, and you know, whether you believe in karma or, you know, reaping what you sow, like that's I mean, that's, we want to be good people and like loving to our neighbors.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if that means lending someone a kayak or whatever, even if it's someone that you're competing against, I mean, that's your
I texted one of the guys, this guy Bailey. I said, hey, because he said he would lend me a rod.
Oh, Egbert.
Bailey.
Yeah. He's come out here to PA, and
so
he's the Ike tournament here in PA.
Cool.
He has a tournament here.
Yeah, he's got a big internet following.
And
he does a show.
Came out here, he crushed it. He won, and he threw a frog all day long in the middle of October.
Yeah, exactly. So, I know, because nobody else was.
And he crushed it. He won. He took a Hobie home. Yeah, yeah. Good kid.
Yeah, that's right. So, Fishing with Graham said we belong to the best fishing community, bar none. 100%, bro.
I concur. Anyways, the kid Bailey, I was asking him about his rod, and I said, if you lend me the rod, you do realize you're gonna win, right? Because I was like, you're instantly gonna have the good karma. I kind of like need to use it so you could do well. He's like, LOL. He said it's his home lake, so that kid's great. You know, it's cool. Like I would be a liar if I said I wasn't like intimidated, but I'm also like, I want to be part of it. You know, like I was talking to Russ Snyder, who like literally wins everything. At the Murray USA thing, I was like, dude, I just want to be part of it. You know, I just want to be like, I want to be in the middle or at the bottom or the top, but I just want to like be around the guys. I want to be part of it. You know, like
you want to be
part of it. Yeah. You know, like John Stockton was on the dream team, and like, you know, like the dream teams, I think is like 12 people, right? Like only 5 of them played the majority of the time. But like, I'm like, I'll be the 12th guy. Like, I just want to be part of it.
Yeah,
you know?
I feel you. And I think that it's feasible more in the kayak realm, because me personally, I like to try to get to the top of wherever I'm at, I guess you could say. I think, you know, whether I get there or not is, you know, but I still try it, right? And so, you know, and I think that you know, Christine Fisher's a great example of that, right? And I saw that, you know, there's levels to this, and kind of how she segued, and now she's behind a boat.
Yeah.
Steering wheel now. I saw the route she took as the most feasible route to get to that level. Or if not, you got the Ben Milliken route, right? Going with a strong social media following, until you can get into, enough to take care of your own path.
I bet you he wouldn't want to hear that though.
What was that?
I said I bet he wouldn't want to hear that though. That thing of the social media got him there. I mean,
and to be real, I respect it because I love Milliken. I watch him a lot. He's part of the reason why I just caught the fish that I caught, because I fished off of Main Lake Point using tips that he gave me.
Yeah,
that I watched from him. Right. So,
right.
But respectably though, that's what happened. He was fishing really well on YouTube and catching some really big bags.
Yeah,
with a lot of attention of the right people, and now he's doing great. He was always doing his own thing though.
Yeah. I mean, and you know what, the kicker for the Falcons, Koo, he was kicking these wonky field goals on YouTube and got signed by an NFL team.
Wow.
Yeah, this dude was kicking these like backflip 90-yard, field goals, and like he ends up on a getting signed to a team. I mean, so
that's the kid who the Gran Turismo movie. You've seen it? Have you seen it? No. Okay. All right. So there was this kid who drove the Gran Turismo game simulator.
Yeah.
And they decided to throw a competition, like, the first place winner gets an opportunity to get behind a real car.
Wow.
He's now a real professional driver.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. So
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the internet's cool. Like, I dabble like with the idea of doing a YouTube channel or like this, but I just don't have the time and energy, honestly. But I love like holding my phone. Like I'll shoot slow-mo videos of, tarpon jumping and stuff, jumping all the time. And I recently made like an Old Town video, to support the local dealer, Travel Country. Like those guys are so good to me. Like I walk in there and they treat me like royalty. They give me like discounts on so much stuff. So, I like doing that stuff, but it's also a fine line of like how authentic I can be, because some days I just don't like people. Some days I walk at 7-Eleven and I'm like, don't look at me, don't talk to me. People that drive under the speed limit, that's a major issue for me.
Yeah, my wife, because I'm a very particular person. And so it was ironic because my wife said, how did the Lake Macamixa meetup go? Because she knows how I can be at times.
Right.
And she said, one of the things I told her, I said, she said, does it get to your head? I said, no, not really, because at the end of the day, in all respect, you're showing face, right? And at the end of the day, we are doing this for a sake of community. And leading up to it, I wasn't as enthusiastic as I wanted to be about it, but I had committed, and I'm so thankful I went because it was such an experience. Just being up and hanging out with those guys, and we don't get paid to do that. We don't get paid to go out our way and do any of this stuff, but these guys make it worth it. And but the other side of that coin is when you're and Jay's experienced this, where he's just kind of like out at the lake, just minding his own business, and then run into people who recognize you, and then you may not. Maybe you went to go get your mind off of something that day because you're dealing with something, and you're not really in the mood to be all chit chattery. You got it.
Are you famous now, Jay?
I wouldn't say I'm famous. I don't want to be famous.
Like, are you getting like noticed at Walmart and shit?
Actually, someone. I went to go pick up some. So I own a business, and I went to go pick up some supplies. I don't know. It was more than a year ago, and some guy was like, "Oh, hey man, I just bought my kayak. Love your videos." And I was like, and it just caught me way off guard. I was like, "Oh, all right." So we started talking a little bit. I've never seen the guy again, but he saw me the one time, and immediately he was like, "Dude, I love your videos. I just bought my first kayak."
Well, that's great. I mean, I think kayak brands and I think lures and stuff, I mean, they should be giving you stuff for giveaways, because I mean, the more, if you're getting 25K followers and the more engagement you get, I mean, yeah. I mean, I watch Kayak Bass Nation. They do a giveaway at the end of all their shows and stuff. You seen Kayak Bass Nation?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, it's a great show. I mean,
you know what? You got me feeling guilty. So on the next episode, I have to make one.
What are you giving away?
with you. Yeah. Well, I don't know how we're gonna figure out how we're gonna give it away.
Let me see what you got.
Not this one in particular, but
He
maybe
paints custom lures.
Oh, dang, girl.
And I got a foiled version I do too, but I don't
Hold
know.
it up closer to the camera. Let me see this thing.
This is a shad.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I got another one. I wasn't anticipating showing this off, so
That's impressive.
Too bad you did.
And I think that you should flex on that more.
cool. I got you.
He does some firework, man.
I support the flex of like hand painted lures. That's
Word.
dope.
I have to paint up some rattle traps for you.
Dude.
I don't know if you can see this one.
Oh,
right here,
I appreciate that, Jay.
so
Yeah.
do you put it? Do you airbrush it in your garage? And like,
Yeah, actually, right behind me. Here, that's what all this is my.
dang, dog, you're
Yeah.
him, bro.
Oh, chill.
Dude, you're
God
him,
bless you,
dog.
Juan.
I wish.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. You get those in the right hands with the right people, and they start winning tournaments. And they start talking about it,
Yeah.
and you put water. They say, what is it? Rising tides raise all ships. You guys heard that saying?
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. I hear that, man. I hear that. Word.
All right.
I could appreciate that. I feel that vibe. I like that.
Oh,
journey.
see, somebody said Juan got skills. See, dude, you got a fan club, dog. Detroit Fishing.
Oh, look, hold on. We got one more too.
Juan,
Juan,
I'm needing some of your crankbaits.
Southwest Indiana Outdoors.
Yeah, it was ironic. So on the group page, I did this situation where I had a few custom lures that I had put together, but I don't know if I put the right wording, so it didn't really connect to a lot of guys. So anyway, I ended up giving a few away, and I think that for the next couple of weeks, just to put the proof in the pudding, I'll give a few more away so you guys can see the quality and where we're at with things. And
I want to make a hype video with one of your lures.
I got you right.
Oh, there you go, bro.
Yeah, I
You know
got
what I'm saying? Because I can catch like snook or tarpon on it, get the multi-species aspect. You can be like, look, my boy Blake caught a tarpon on this thing down in Florida, okay? So it works.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out what you need. I'll get it. to you.
Even Mac Toon wants in on this. He said, "Hey, let me get one of them glides. It's Shad's
That's
spawn
fun.
time."
Dude,
Yeah.
you're blowing up, bro.
Oh, yeah, I better chill, man. Well, hey, hit me up. Find it.
Hit up Juan.
Nah. But
No, that's great, man. Honestly, all that stuff's great. I think it's cool that you guys are doing this. I appreciate having me on. Our kids hopefully will be, making lures and do some charity, do some, some trash cleanups on your local lakes.
yeah,
Stuff like that is dope. If you got 25,000 people following your page, you can get people together and be like, look, let's all go pick up trash for an hour, and like things like that. I think the local community, like the local paper, like people like that are like, dang, who's, what's going on? Like start a movement, like everybody that watches shows can fish. Everybody knows how to catch bass, like how many bass pictures am I going to post? Like,
Yeah.
we get it, dude. We
Yeah,
catch
yeah.
bass.
No.
I think if we could do
Absolutely.
one thing that I think would be amazing is if this could turn into a scenario where like could just travel and go all over the United States, and just make that kind of positive influence.
That'd be dope. I'm in.
Donating and bringing experiences.
Yeah, I mean, make a pilot, pitch it to freaking National Geographic. I'm sick of watching the Kardashians, bro.
Yeah, no, I feel
You're
you.
the dad's tour, bro. Get the bus. I'm
You're
gonna
the
write a
dad's
theme
tour.
song. Let's freaking go.
with a
Bro.
crazy like 6-tier trailer in the back with all the,
Yes.
with all the
All
rigs.
the kayaks.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
With like a live well in the back with like a 25-pound bass, dude. The world record bass in the back.
Bro, you got that vision, man.
Yeah, for real, son. with
I
the
mean,
kayaks as well.
I'm a dreamer. I'm flying to New York without a kayak. Okay.
Yeah.
To fish a tournament.
Yeah.
Yo, someone here, who Bryan Reed, he offered his kayak if you need it. He said, Blake, if you need a kayak for Cayuga, I'll drive up with my salty PDL and rods for you.
What?
Brian's a cool dude, man. He's on the group, so if you want to look him up and chat with
Bryan Reed, dude, you're definitely going to heaven, dog.
him.
Okay, free lure for you. I'm gonna paint one. I'm gonna have my kids paint one, dude.
Yeah, you know what? I ain't gonna hold you. I'm waiting for my son to get a little older. He has been diagnosed with cerebral palsy, spastic diplegia. But one of the subtle lines I want to come out with are lures that are just painted by him. that go to that cause. So,
dude, that's great. I love that. I'll be your first customer.
There you go.
I'll be your first customer.
got you for sure.
Yeah.
That's great, man. Good. That's good. You know, I think to be honest, you know, when the fish are really biting, like I've seen like, you know, like autism awareness lures, you know, with like the puzzle pieces on them and stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
You know, I mean, you don't necessarily have to fish with it, but you know, putting it on your showroom. But I'll fish with that stuff, dude.
Yeah.
I ain't scared. Like if they're schooling bass, you know, and you throw anything in there, they'll hit it.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna lie, we're gonna try to get some schemes that'll be at least hittable.
Oh, dude, yeah. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that, but I'm just saying, like, I fished with the Miami Dolphins crankbait before. Okay.
Really?
Yes.
Did you catch?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yo, you got to make them one with the Eagles crankbait, bro.
Dude, listen. I'll send you an Eagles crankbait. I ain't playing. My local flea market has the whole NFL wall of crankbaits. They have Eagles crankbaits.
That would be
My-
sick.
My one buddy has a channel. Bogley's Keeping It Real. He sent me a crankbait with his YouTube logo on the side of it, and I caught 3 bass on 3 casts with this Bogley with a Bogley's Keeping It Real lure. You never know, man.
Ask the dude with the salty though to hit me up PM because I'm interested.
Say it again.
All right, yeah, that's Brian Reed. He's on the group.
Brian
Yeah.
Reed. Here's
Yeah,
why.
look him up.
The dude that was going to bring me one is bringing me a 10.5 topwater, and if you have a salty that's 12, I'd rather use that, and I actually will buy you dinner.
All right, you hear that, Brian?
A good
Brian
one.
come through. Brian's
I'll
a
buy
good
you a
dude.
steak or something.
Yeah, Brian's a real good dude. Matter of fact, when is this tournament?
The first.
The first.
It's like in 5 days.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
5 days? I might be able to meet up with Brian and get you something.
Are you going to come to the tournament?
No, but I might be able to meet up with Brian and get you a lure or two for the
I'll throw it in the tournament. Dude, watch me win with your lure, bro.
yeah.
That'd be sick.
Like, am I going to have to cut you out of the prize or what? Am I have to cut you out?
No.
He's going to be like, well,
Give him a
like,
shout out.
You ain't got to do nothing you don't want to do.
Oh, dude, I would totally do that. No, I'll just donate some money for your. Oh, there he is.
Oh, yeah, there's my buster. Oh,
There we go.
yeah, shy. He sees the camera. Oh,
What's up, LJ?
say hey. No, okay, go ahead, go on, mommy. I'll be
He's like, I'm ready for my nap, bro.
You guys want to wrap it up? You got any
Yeah.
final thoughts?
Yo, last question here. There's a couple here, but here, this one from Joe Riggs. What would be the best way or advice to someone who's never done a tournament to get started in it?
I would download the Fishing Chaos app, and I would download the Tourney X app. Tourney or Tourney X. You guys know about both of those. You can post those.
Yeah.
Download the Tourney X app. Type in, where you are in the search bar. There's so many freaking tournaments. Or do the Bahio thing or the monthly. Do something where you can figure out how to use the app. Because my biggest fear coming into tournament fishing with this app was like catching fish and not knowing how to photo submit them. Find out where to put your hand, find out where to keep the mouth closed, find out if you could pinch the tail or not pinch the tail. Some of these tournaments you're allowed to pinch the tail. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Hobie, you can pinch the tail. So you can grab the tail and pinch it.
And it gives you that little bit of extra
to get a 1/4 inch.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that. I've only fished tournaments where you can't.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Hobie, you can. And I
Alright.
always take a dry towel with me, and I dry towel the underside of the tail. It's very important because, dude, people lose by a 1/4 inch all the time, or a 1/2 inch. So I dry the tail, and I pinch the tail in Hobie, and I put my hand there. You have to have the identifier in there. Don't have the identifier like half in the photo or not. Like all those specifics. Like the last thing on earth you want to do is go into a tournament, catch the fish, and lose.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny you said that because a good friend of mine, shout out to Izzy, he saw me put on a clinic at the lake, but one of the fish that he had took a picture of on his catch board had its mouth wide open.
Right.
And
No
I
bueno.
mentioned
No bueno.
or hit him up about it yet. But yeah, those mouths have to be closed up against there, and there has to be
Yes.
a sticker or something to help. You know what I'm talking about on the book.
Well, like the thing is, there's rules in terms like some of these are very loose. Like the Bahia one's loose, but the Hobie one is tight. Like even the Florida Kayak Bass Trails, there was a double submission. Somebody submitted the same fish twice, and it went through. But then the tournament director went back and caught it. It was an accident, but like when there's money on the line, like, you got to be very thorough with your stuff. There was a guy, Bryan again, that I know that submitted a redfish, and he had he didn't have the settings on the Fishing Chaos app correct, where like it would pin the location. So he didn't make his settings line up with the Fishing Chaos app, and he legitimately won this tournament, but his fish got denied because of that. So he went out there, drove across the state from the east side to Crystal River, the other side, and caught the fish and lost the thing. So somebody said that's great advice. I screwed up a few fish entries learning the process. So yes, if you've never fished a tournament, enter one of these freebies, like this Bohio one, or like there's one right now in the Fishing Chaos app, the Strike King one. I don't know if that's free or not, but there's practice in the Tourney X app. There's a practice feature where you can go out and catch fish and photo submit them. You guys know that?
Yeah.
There's a practice tournament in Tourney X.
Oh yes, I do know that.
Yeah,
actually.
but like you said, there are some of these tournaments that are really loose with the rules.
Yes.
So I mean, just like KBF is pretty strict, Hobie's strict, obviously, but
not true. I think it's strict.
There's one like that Strike King one.
It's not strict. It's thorough. It's like it's
and it's for the right reasons. Yeah.
That's
so,
how
but
it
that
should
Strike King one, I was looking through some of the winners, man, and there was literally dudes like with their fingers in the gill, mouth wide open,
right.
and the identifier on some blank piece of paper across the boat, but they verified it.
Right. No, absolutely. The Bahio one with the sailfish, like I had to send them a video because the photo submission, we leader grabbed the sail. So I sent them a video of, I wrote on my photo submission because the Bahio one was like a little bit loose, and, it's a freebie for shades and a gift card, I really just wanted to do it because I wanted to put my balls in a wheelbarrow and be like, hey guys, I just caught a sailfish on the kayak, which was epic. It took like 4 hours, but anyways, the bass ones are very serious, and I like the ones that are strict, and I like following the rules, and I like the fact that people have rules. Mm-hmm. Somebody said yes, I used the practice app. Yeah, like, dude, if you don't read the rules of the tournament you're in, that's kind of like you're bad.
Yep.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
I mean,
I went to go to a tournament the one time, and I had the fishing online catch board. It's like bright chartreuse or something.
I've owned many of those.
And so I actually last minute had a source catch board thanks to Jay. I ended up getting a catch board, a real metal one. And the reason why was because years back, somebody took that plastic one and they like modified it.
Yeah.
And modified it to the point where they had cut sections out of it. So it was missing inches so that when you put a fish on it, it looked like it was longer than it actually was.
Somebody gave you that one?
No. But that was what was going on with those fish.
Oh, yeah.
That's why for that particular tournament, they were no longer allowed, was because in the past, somebody had tried to cheat that way.
Yeah. And they used to have the ones that were like an accordion, like you could pull them out. But dude, look, I love the way that the sport's going. It's growing. It's getting more serious. Like the people that are the heavy hitters or whatever you want to call, people call them hammers, whatever, sticks. There's a lot of terms. The dudes that I'm around that are fishing Cayuga and fishing the Bassmaster and like the Hobie, like everybody knows what you're supposed to do. And you, at the end of the day, you can complain. You can be like, oh, my fish jumped off my board, or the identifier was like some dude fish tournament and said he used the wrong identifier. He used an identifier from a previous tournament. I'm like, dude, throw that thing away. Don't take a freaking identifier on your kayak from last week. Like, what are you doing? Like, lay off the tobacco, bro. Like,
yeah, I feel you, man. And especially when you're putting your money, your hard-earned money,
Like, I'm saying all this stuff, and I'm probably gonna like do something stupid at Kayaking, but like, I wake up every morning and I check boxes. I make notes. Like, I want to do everything I can to hook the fish and get it in the boat and photo submit it and let it go. I take like 15 pictures. Like, that's another thing. Dudes, take a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
Don't take one picture.
Overtake. Yeah.
Like, take 20 pictures. Dude, if you look through my camera roll after a tournament, it's nutty. I'm like, bang, 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 bang. I'll dry it off and I'll get it. I'll be like, okay, it's 16 1/4. I need it to be 16 1/2. And I'm like, come on, baby. Bang, bang, bang. you know, and I go through my photos and I find the one where it's 16 and a half and I upload it because I want to maximize every, you know.
Every quarter inch counts.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
I don't know if that's like what everybody does, but that's what I do. Dude, there's no way I'm going in after 2 days of grinding to lose by a quarter inch. I'm like, I could have squeezed a quarter inch out of one of those freaking things, man.
Honestly, I gotta start doing that, seeing how much of a, because I notice it makes a difference, but I haven't done it enough.
All right, before we roll out here, any last things you want to add, Blake, for someone starting out or someone getting into kayak fishing, or they want to get to where you're at and find some success?
I would just say, like, you know, this is gonna sound like annoying, but like, you know, no fear. You know, like don't let, like, just break down the walls of fear. Go out there and try it. Like, if you're not in it, you can't win it. There's a million sayings. I mean, like, if you lose, like, on the grand scheme of things, like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Like you lost the kayak tournament. Like, guess what? The world's still gonna freaking rotate on axis. You know, it's like, it's all good. Like, you know, you don't have to go like climb in a hole. Like, you're still a good fisherman. Like, I lose, everybody loses. Like, dude, everybody that's on the level that's winning also loses. We just don't get online and brag about it. Like, dude, I go out and fish and don't catch fish. You know what I'm saying? Like,
True.
Like, professional fishermen lose. Like, all the greats lose. They all like.
Yeah, and that's helpful for people to realize, because you watch them on YouTube and you just see them pulling up fish after fish after fish. You don't see the days where they're not catching.
No, because, dude, that's not good footage. Like, I think back in the day, like Bill Dance and them used to put mouse traps on the top of the water. You know, like a mouse trap that's loaded, and they'd run the lure off and they'd snap it. Like, when they couldn't catch fish, they'd just use smoke and mirrors camera editing to make it look like they did.
Wow.
I mean. Yeah, I mean,
and I know guys in like the lure realm who will catch a fish and then like put a lure on your mouth and make it seem like, you know.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah, if you're sponsored by somebody, you need some footage. Yeah, I mean,
look,
guys, I live on a lake. I live on a lake. Like, I've stocked my lake thoroughly. I can go out of my lake and catch 20 bass, but I don't even fish my lake that much anymore. You know, like, I want to be able to go to Pennsylvania. Bryan, I want to be able to come up there where you're fishing and catch smallies. Like, and if I don't know how to use the tube, I'm just going to ask you. Like, if you want to fish a tournament, find somebody who does it and ask them. Be like, hey, like, what's up? You know, like, my name's Blake. I want to do what you do. Are you willing to share any info? Because, like, how do I do this? Like, what app are you using? Like, what kayak are you using? Like, I feel like talking to people in real life is a lost art. You know, with these dating apps and like people meet online and like are scared to talk. It's like, introduce yourself to somebody, look them in the eyeballs, shake their hand, and be like, "What's up? I need help."
Yeah, right. Yeah. Humbling yourself a little bit and moving that ego aside and being a little vulnerable ain't gonna hurt. That's for sure.
Yeah, be like, "I'm new to this. I'm scared. I need help."
Yeah.
Like 99% of the people that I've met will be like, "Oh, absolutely, dude. I'll throw you a bone." You know, like, and if one person's not willing to help you, find somebody else who will.
Yeah, because most people are good people, man. So you're gonna get something.
You're gonna meet some guy that does have an ego, that thinks he's tight, and that's just fine. You know, I've been around bands my whole life. Like, some of these dudes think they're like God's gift to the earth, and they're not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they still bleed the same blood. They still, you know, and you know, like, the biggest stars, like, on the highest level, are usually the most humble people. It's the wannabes that are, you know, egomaniacs.
Yeah.
It's like the guys that aren't quite on the level that act like they are. Like, you know, you see people like Dave Grohl, and he's in line serving barbecue to like homeless people. And this dude's like a legitimate rock star. You know, the lead singer of Foo Fighters is out there doing it. And then you see these guys that are like playing for 100 people, and they're like, "Oh, dude, get away from me. I need time before I need to warm up my voice. I can't talk right now." Like, cool, dude.
All right, that's dope advice, man. So, Bryan, Juan, any last questions, or before we get to the funny or crummy real quick? We got 3 jokes to drop.
I think we're ready.
Other than that, I think we might in the future, maybe towards the end of the summer, end of this, let you get into a few more tournaments, see what else you got going on, and maybe link up with you again for another show.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think you guys should all do tournaments, and I think, I think you need the opening theme song. I love the painted lures. Bryan, you're gonna win the Big Hero Sprint. All of us are gonna elevate, and we're gonna take it to the next level. Oh dang!
Yeah.
Here we go. Next level.
Hold it still. Hold it still.
Hold it still. See if you get it.
Ah!
Hey.
Bird call, dog. Run some jokes.
Yo, speaking of bird call, real quick, on that lake that I was at, that I went to first time being there on the water to fish it, I looked back as I was working my bait, and I was like, yo, is that an eagle?
Yes.
Snap, that's an eagle. And I was like, word, Memorial Day weekend, eagle, caw, and I'm just messing around, and I caught a fish. I was like,
yes,
all in the same. Well, it was crazy,
dude. I'm gonna make you a video of you coming in on eagles. I got you, dog. There's a I got you. I got you.
Yeah, that's gonna be the best, bro.
All right,
Legit. All right, yeah. So funny or crummy. So Blake, you got to tell us if this is funny or crummy. Which if the dad joke is crummy, it's still a win because it's a dad joke.
Gotcha.
All right, so Ray Johnson got the first one. He said, "Why do the fish blush? Because it saw the ocean's bottom."
Oh,
I like it. I like it.
Sorry, a little bit of a late start on that one for me. It didn't click in right away.
I like
saw
it.
the ocean's bottom.
I was like the bottom. Oh, the bottom.
All right, Trevor Wagner. What do you call a fish that won't shut up? A big mouth bass.
Okay.
So 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. All right. And Trevor actually dropped the second one. He said, why did the vegetarian go deep sea fishing? Just for the halibut.
I like that. I like that. That's a construction joke. I could get on
that. All right. Awesome, man. Well, Blake, we appreciate it, bro. Thanks so much for coming on the show, man.
Word.
Brian.
I'm entering tonight.
All right, good. Well, I don't think it queues up till next week. Right now it's the brook trout, so people are submitting like 5-inch brook trout right now.
Okay.
So I'll send you a link. If you're on the smallmouth like that, you should win. And then the other one, you said you're going to finish top 3.
I hope to, because I get a little bit of gear if I get top 3. So
yeah, man.
I believe in you.
Word.
Yeah. I just got to get me to believe in me.
Well,
sounds good, guys. All right, before we go, just everyone is watching, we appreciate you guys for coming on, checking in, asking questions, and remember next show's gonna be June 9th, and we're talking to Jake Stem, also an Old Town pro, also a tournament angler. We're talking about increasing your catch rate and how to get better at catching bass.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be lit. So till next time, guys, appreciate it. Peace. God bless.